about Quinn this week? Is he dialed in with the Lions game?
I think so. Yeah,
He's angry
I think so.
because he was angry.
Yeah,
He was angry during the Eagles. He was salty. You said he's salty, and then you said that he was pissed off and he was hitting the pads real hard right before their first playoff win against the Bucks. So
yeah.
he
And now
yeah.
listen to what he said to me. I don't, I'm going to tell you something before the Tampa Bay game.
Okay. Fire.
Okay. And it may be nothing, but it's small detail. But we have to, before we air this, I want to talk to you and ask you if you think this is betraying his trust, because I don't want to do that. All right.
Oh, is it a specific thing he told you that you think it when in question? If you think you're betraying his trust, don't. So
Okay.
don't.
Okay.
And then we'll talk offline, and if it's something I'm like, yeah, he wouldn't give a shit. But maybe we wait.
No, this is not what you think.
Was it? It was before the Tampa Bay game.
Yes.
Okay, so it's nothing to do with it. Okay. I mean, he disparaged the fans of Philadelphia, and you kind of talked about that. You know what I mean? So is it worse than that or better than that?
It's very,
Comparable.
I mean, it has a lot to do with the game and the mentality of the game.
Damn, now I'm intrigued. I mean, use your judgment. If you think that it should be held back, don't say a word.
Okay. So we're walking in
Okay.
after he's going to play Tampa Bay in 2 days,
Yeah.
you know, and it's a playoff game. And he says he's, that's usually when we verbally commit to next week, you know?
Yeah.
And so I go next week, right? And he says, well, and he caught himself and he said, yeah, next week. You know what I'm saying? The doubt was there.
Okay. Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes. And you were actually, in a way, kind of testing him. And it probably fucked with him that he had that doubt.
I think it did. I
Yeah.
think it did because today, yesterday,
Did you say next week?
I said next week, and he said, "You goddamn right."
There. Yeah, it did. When you said that and he felt that doubt, it haunted him the rest of the day. I bet you he thought about it. And he's like, never again.
Yeah,
So this matchup is it should be an ass whipping. The Redskins technically shouldn't be where they are. It's already a Super Bowl year. You've got a rookie quarterback. Your second best player is your wide receiver, McLaurin. Your third best player is arguably your center. You've got a 34-year-old tight end who's performed admirably, but he's not a star. He's not a huge threat. He's serviceable. Your running game is non-existent. Your best running back at this point is a 30-some-year-old Eckler, third down back. And you've finally got a De'Ami Brown kind of breakout, but you've got probably the worst set of wide receivers other than McLaurin in the NFL. You can make a case that perhaps I don't know that perhaps the Bills, I don't know. They've got better. Cooper's better. Yeah, it's up there. Their case is it's not good to be a Redskins skill player. And yet this rookie quarterback has led them to great. The defense sort of sucks. You know what I mean? Yet they keep
yeah.
moving the offense and they keep winning games, and they don't have a running game. Like they're one dimensional, and that one dimension is this rookie quarterback who's literally having the greatest rookie season of any quarterback.
Back to the defense. That actually hurt me to watch Bobby Wagner get fucking
Trucked by
trucked.
Baker. Yeah, yeah.
Like, I thought that was the turning point, that they were just going to take over and roll over us.
Baker is a bad man, man. Baker is such a fucking warrior.
That shit will eat Bobby Wagner alive till the fucking day he dies.
Baker lost the game later by the fumble, which was
Yeah.
Baker's fumble. Tampa Bay wins that game if not for Baker fumbling that ball in my
Right,
and
right. I thought it was over.
yeah, man, I'm happy for the city of Washington, especially now that Dan Snyder is gone. And it's weird. There's a lot of debate out there going. I had a debate with in my fantasy group where one guy goes, "It's the quarterback. It's the quarterback." And I said, "Well, you can't really disagree with a franchise quarterback that's good." But the other side is saying it's the executive team. It's the change in ownership. It's the everything, the attitude.
There's one big word. I'm sick of it because people overuse it, but it's the culture.
It's the culture. Yeah. You're there, so you can
Fuck
speak.
yeah, I'm there. I'm excited, and I swore to never uh have anything to do with them again.
Yeah, because of your experience the first time around, or what?
Because of my experience the first time around. And I mean, I just stopped being stupid. They treated their fans like garbage. They insulted their intelligence. They gave them a shit product, and they fell from grace. One of the greatest things about this town was the Washington Redskins. And
Yeah.
now, I mean, that's gone. It's not only gone, it's a joke because it became such a joke. And this is a new, like, I hate to say this, but when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Whether I don't know. I call them the Commanders now. They are the Commanders in my head. They're not the Redskins. I love the Redskins the time that I
All
was
right,
a
move on,
fan.
move on. I don't care. I don't want to hear that
Oh,
shit. I'm gonna fight with
so
you.
so what?
No, move on to the next point. Don't call it. Move on to like, hey, the culture and everything. I'm just saying, don't you fucking ever say Commanders in my company. You
Really? I
Red.
hadn't word on.
Fuck the Commanders. Fuck. I don't want to get into it. I
Listen,
don't want to get
let
on.
me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
Go
Because
ahead.
there's kids on that team that are Commanders, and they got nothing. They don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna shit on their team. Maybe it's the first big NFL team that they gotta have pride, and I respect their pride for their team.
Yeah, whatever. Everybody still says hail. All the fans still are singing hail to the Redskins. It's the fucking Redskins. We need to stop being pussy. It's 2025. It's Trump's America. They're the fucking Redskins. They're never the
All right, fair
come,
enough. I'll go with that. I'll go with that because I don't give a shit. I mean,
yeah.
I don't really care about it.
Yeah, I'm not in control of it, but I will never call them the Commanders. Like it's the Redskins. Just
But okay, you're right,
pay
right.
homage to these beautiful American
Um,
Indians. That we gave diseases to and stole their land. Pay homage to them because they're great. Now but I'm talking about the culture. Do you think that this season happens if Dan Snyder is owner and do you first of all, do you think he drafts Jaden Daniels? Or do you think he fucks that up and trades a future pick to move up to take Caleb Williams? But let's say he does draft Daniels. He's not going to do the same draft as this crew. Do you think he fucks it up? And do you think that the culture, based on what you saw before, is capable of achieving what they've done this year under Dan Snyder? I think the answer is probably no. I don't have
I
any.
don't think you could have never. A lot of it has to do with Quinn.
Of course.
What's the,
Which
you
well,
know,
Quinn probably doesn't get hired
I
under
ain't sure that Quinn would want to go
where
play for
Snyder
him.
is. Yeah,
Right.
I don't think Quinn would ever do that. Yeah, so yeah, the entire it's the coach, it's the draft. It
It was it
they
was
bring
uprooted like a fucking tooth. They got all the roots, they got everything out, and they replaced it
they
with
bring in Bobby Wagner on defense, who's
yep,
off. They bring in Ertz, on offense, who's
yep.
like a classic leader. They bring in these pieces of high character people and a high character coach, and all of a sudden, even though they have massive cap space, the organization's a completely different organization.
right?
All they need to do, the biggest issue with the organization now is where the fucking stadium is. It's a very fan unfriendly
Yeah,
experience
it sucks.
for people outside of the DC area. It's called Inside the Beltway, which is just a loop around DC. And the fucking stadium for Washington is in shit stain Maryland, outside of the Beltway. And there's a metro stop, which is just your public transport train. It drops you off like a mile from the stadium. So you have like 80-year-olds like hobbling to the stadium from the it's not fan friendly. It's expensive as fuck to park. There's absolutely no way to get there without being pissed off because the Beltway is always a shitstorm, even in bumfuck, which is where that is. It's like right to the east of where you go to Baltimore.
Guess where it is?
Landover, which to the east of where you go to Baltimore,
Palmer Park.
it sucks.
There you go. Palmer Park is right there.
You'll never see Palmer Park on your favorite real estate show of I bought $1 million home. I mean, you know what I mean? Palmer Park, that part is shit, Maryland. It's shit. It's dog shit. Maryland in general is dog shit. But where it used to be is where it should be. If they can take RFK, rip it down, and build a newer, better RFK right where it was or right next to it or whatever, that's the ticket. That's right in downtown DC. And those events got raucous and wild, and it's so easy to get to. You can bounce in from Maryland, DC, Virginia, and there's metro stops all over the place. You could take metro stops to like 8 different sections of bars right around there, get shit faced, and just walk over or cab over or whatever, Uber over or whatever.
Yep.
Once they fix that, and they get a better team, because this year's team really isn't good. He might still win the Super Bowl, by the way. I mean, they might still win the Super Bowl with this mediocre team because he's that good.
Yeah.
They might
It's
not.
I mean, it's almost out of hands. You know, I mean, it's almost like you're watching something magical.